name of the show is The Way to Go. My name is Alan Bendich. I'm going to be your host. Tonight we have a very special guest. He is a comedian. He's the creator and producer of Comedy Bites, and he's sitting right over here, and his name is Davian Velez. Welcome to the show.
Wow, thank you very much for having me, Alan. Okay, this is cool. I like this.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, look at the beautiful bridge and everything.
It's awesome. I feel like I'm on the way to go somewhere, in my career and comedy and everything.
So what is Comedy Bites? What's it about? It's a television show?
Yeah. It's a television show that I created where basically it's a comedy, food, and traveling show.
Wow.
Where me and my co-host, another comedian from the Bronx, Tara Tracy, she's like my sister, me and her and other guest celebrity comics, we go to different restaurants that have comedy shows as well as comedy clubs around the country that have great food.
Cool.
And we interview comedians from those cities, try the food together, perform together as well in the same venue. Sometimes we'll use brand new cars and do sketches with cars, but it's mainly about comedy, food, and traveling and stuff like that.
And we'll share a little later a little trailer or a little show, trailer video.
Yeah, I brought you guys a clip. We recently went out to Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
And we did an episode out there. That was fun.
But I'm curious because you said you're the person on the show is from the Bronx. Do you know what part of the Bronx? Or
we're both from Pelham Parkway.
Really?
We're both from Pelham Parkway.
I'm from Mickle Avenue, which is near Eastchester Road.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. Eastchester Road and Pelham Parkway.
And I'm one block further down from Eastchester Road, and it's Mickle Avenue.
Yeah.
But I'm to the left towards Gun Hill Road and Boston Post Road. So if you go down Pelham Parkway and make a left.
Yep.
Coming down from like the Bronx Zoo, you make a left on Eastchester Road. I'm like where I was brought up, and I lived, all my youth is about a mile away from there. So we're on Pelham Parkway.
Right there on Pelham Parkway and Eastchester Road.
Oh, wow.
Right there by Jacoby Hospital. That's where I grew up. My parents are still there. They've been there since '72. Yeah. My sister, like most Puerto Ricans, we don't move far from our parents.
Right.
She lives 2 buildings down.
Wow.
I used to live in the same building as my sister until I recently moved to Throgsneck.
My grandparents lived on Pelham Parkway at Mulliner Avenue, a little bit further up towards White Plains Road. So yeah. It's interesting. That's a nice area.
Yeah, actually. For over 40 years, I'm dating myself. I dyed my hair to look younger for you today.
But I remember 60 years ago, visiting my parents, my grandparents. So do you do stand-up?
Yeah, I've been actually doing stand-up. I'm 43 now, dating myself. I started when I was about 20 years old. Wow. At Stand Up New York Comedy Club on 78th and Broadway. They're still there, one of my favorite comedy clubs. And how I started, I was walking downtown in the Village. Some guy was selling tickets to a club, to the comedy club. And I went there, and I saw a bunch of guys who were good, and I saw a bunch of guys who were not so good. And I was like, wow, I want to try this. So I asked the club, I said, how do I get into doing a show?
Right.
They were like, well, you do this thing called a pre-show. So, and they still do this to this day, all the comedy clubs say if you wanted to go on stage, you do what's called pre-shows or bringer-shows, where basically you bring 4 or 5 of your friends,
right.
They pay to get in, they get the 2-drink minimum, in exchange you get 5 minutes on stage. Oh. So when I was like 19, 20 years old, I did that. After the 4th time, the management came up to me and like, David, you're really good. You should take our class. I didn't even know there was a such thing as classes. Right. But a lot of the comedy clubs still have great classes that they teach. Gotham Comedy Club on 23rd Street has one as well too. But at the time, I was a college student, baseball player over here at Westchester Community College. Right. And I was a 19-year-old kid. I was like, I don't have no money to take a class. Right. They were like, listen, the class was on Saturdays and Sundays. They were like, the class was $600. They were like, Davian, we believe in you. We'll let you take the class for free. Don't tell nobody, but you can't perform in no other club.
We won't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's already past the statute of limitations. And they were like, don't tell nobody, and you can only perform here for your first 2 years of your career.
Right.
And ever since then, thanks to Stand Up New York Comedy Club, I've found my calling in life.
So, I guess I veered away from Comedy Bites.
Right.
I'm really interested. How did you come up with the concept for Comedy Bites?
Well, it's like I've always been a foodie. I've waited in over 20 different restaurants as a kid. I've been in the sales. Some of the episodes you'll see has cars in it because I worked in actual brand new car dealerships all my career, and traveling and food as a comic, you're always going to all these different restaurants and comedy clubs across the country because a lot of comedians. We produce shows in local restaurants within our towns and stuff like that. So you're getting amazing comedy shows, but you're also getting great food on top of that. Right. So I wanted to show what it's like to be a comic on the road, because a lot of times that's what we do during the week. We're not performing in these only arenas. We're performing in awesome restaurants. Why not showcase that?
And you
So
created Comedy Bites?
Yes. Yeah, I created it myself. I wrote all the episodes. I book all the comedians. I scout for all the venues as well.
And how did you get the backing? I mean, because it's when the audience sees, the clip that you brought in, it's fantastic. I mean, it's a really polished.
Oh, thank you.
Clip.
We were just actually in a film festival in LA, the Omnicultural Film Festival out there. We almost won. And it was nice to be featured at the Egyptian Theater right there on Hollywood Boulevard.
I lived in Hollywood in the 80s. The Egyptian Theater is so cool.
It was
still
awesome.
Nice inside?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I haven't been there in 30 years, but it was nice back in the 80s.
Oh, dude, it was gorgeous. And all the people there, and then just to see my little show on the big screen and everybody there.
What a great feeling.
And my aunt, I brought her as my date.
When you have family there?
Oh, yeah.
Or a date?
Yeah, she was like, but that's the best. When you bring family, who's a date? But it was real cool. She had a blast, and she hasn't seen me in over 15 years and stuff. No, about 10 years. So I took her to the events by then. She loved it, and it was really, really fun. Shout out to Nancy if you're watching.
Hi, Nancy.
Titi Nancy.
So you know what? We've talked so much about it. Is it a good time to share with the audience?
Sure, of course. I would love to. This clip that I brought you guys, it's when we were into Dallas, Texas. My co-host, Tara Canestraci, she hosts half the season, but this one, I had a guest celebrity co-host, my friend Dustin Chafin, who's actually from Dallas, but he's also runs Greenwich Comedy Club out here in New York. Right. So me and him went out to Dallas, Texas. He showed me around, showed me some cowboy stuff. We went to the stockyards. And we interviewed two comedians from Dallas at this restaurant called Blue Mesa, and we tried the food together, performed together, and everything, and it was fun.
Well, I'll tell you, I think it was a really professional shoot. It looks really, really good.
Thank you so much.
And I think you got a big shot at making it. So,
man, I really hope so. Please, everybody subscribe to the channel.
That's it. So let's check out the clip.
Check it out. Welcome to Comedy Bites, which is an awesome new comedy and food show where me, Davian Velez, who's been a comedian for over 20 years, I've also worked at over 20 different restaurants. And a lot of people in America think you can only see comedians in movies, TV shows, big arenas. But little do you know, we perform and produce shows in comedy clubs and restaurants with great food all across this great nation. So join me and my comedy sister from the Bronx, Tara Canestraci, and other guest comedians as we take you on the road across the country so you can see what it's like to be a comic here on Comedy Bites. Our next stop on Comedy Bites is Dallas, Texas, where my guest co-host is actually my longtime friend and fellow comedian who grew up in Dallas, the hilarious Dustin Chafin. We're gonna go meet up with two other hilarious comedians from Dallas to perform at Blue Mesa restaurant, which is known for their amazing Tex-Mex cuisine. But before we head to the show, Dustin is actually gonna take me to Fort Worth, Texas, and he's gonna show me some really cool cowboy stuff. Yeehaw!
Well, Davian, you wanted cowboys. Welcome to the stockyards. You know what? How about a cowgirl?
Oh, wow. This is amazing.
This is Fort Worth.
How you doing? Wow, this is cool. What is this place?
More authentic than this. This is stockyards, man. It's been here since Civil War, 1860s.
Wow.
This is the real authentic Fort Worth experience. You're going to see real cowboys, longhorns, the most beautiful animal you're ever going to see. This guy.
Wow.
You got a name?
This is Jake.
Jake. Look at Jake.
This is Jake.
Jake. You can see beautiful horses. You got mechanical bulls, and you can buy a cowboy hat. You can get some brisket. It's really one of the most authentic places.
Hi.
Don't get hit by a horn.
That is cool.
Hook 'em
How you
horns,
doing?
baby. Touch the butt. You
I don't want to get hit. I don't want to get hit.
Dallas was a lot of fun, but to me, this is the more authentic cowboy experience.
Then there's other people with my hat because in Dallas I didn't see anybody else with a cowboy hat.
Yeah, you don't
now
look like a weirdo.
Now I feel like a real Mexican ranchero.
Calm down, there's real ones here.
Yeah, I know. This is
But,
cool.
yeah, welcome to the Stockyards. This is my favorite place. Let's go get some ribs and You see a shootout.
They got them Clydesdale horses here?
Yeah, the Budweiser. I know you love Budweiser.
Oh, yeah, I love my butt.
Let's see those butt horses.
Let's go see the butt horses and see what else they have here, guys, in the stockyards. Stockyards, did I say correct?
Yep, stockyards.
The stockyards here in Fort Worth, Texas. Welcome back, Bruce, everybody. Welcome back, Bruce.
Always the man of the hour.
Look at this.
Wow. This dish comes with weapons.
What you get,
Right,
Dana?
I call it chicken.
I'll do the shrimp.
Hold on, guys, let me explain it before you touch it.
Okay, wait.
Let Bruce explain the dish.
Talk about it,
Relax.
Bruce.
I know you guys are hungry, so cógelo con take easy, okay? It's all right. Leave it right there. All right, just wait. Bruce, explain it. What do we got in here?
All right, we got a skewer of sausage, skewer of steak with a chili pepper glaze, skewer of chicken, and a skewer of jumbo shrimp with a ginger chipotle glaze. A little base of panna bread, you can make a burrito out of it if you like. A little pineapple habanero relish, a little jalapeno relish, and guacamole. Add in there. And it also comes with a tomahawk corn again.
Some more elote.
That really makes me hungry. That is so awesome.
Thank you so much.
That is really professional.
Oh,
And
thanks.
and this is the kind of stuff I like on the weekends when I'm kicking back on Saturday afternoon, and I look at the Food Channel and I see all these shows where man versus food.
Yeah.
To me, this is similar, except now you have a much more comedic thing, and it's less like you're not eating till you burst. I think you got something.
Oh,
here.
thanks. Well,
It's really good.
I appreciate that so much because, Man vs. Food was my favorite, show, and he's actually also a comic.
Right.
You know what I mean? And seeing with the restaurants and seeing all the traveling food shows, I got the idea of making it a traveling food show. Travel Channel and Food Network are my favorite. So if you Travel Channel, Food Network, you're listening, talk to me. We can set up a meeting and go with it. But it's not only that. I wanted to create a show that's endless.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is a show that I can keep going.
Like
There's no
evergreen.
stop.
It's like a show that keeps on going. And it is. There's no question about it. And everyone likes food, especially, and you and I both worked in the food service business. Presentation is everything, and the way the food was presented.
That's right.
So beautiful.
Watching Anthony Bourdain, he was my favorite as well too.
Right.
And seeing, and studying, seeing the food shots, seeing how some of the like with fun facts,
Right.
Seeing how all that.
But also, when a person sees food, it sets something off in their mind. They're attracted to it. So it's like on top of everything else, the comedy but the food. I mean, that's another attraction.
That's what I wanted to show, because there's food all over the place. There's restaurants we can do. There's comedy clubs and restaurants out there with great food and great comedy shows throughout this country, in England and other
and just like
cities.
comedians want to get their stuff out, restaurants want to showcase their food. So I mean, it's a win-win situation, and the audience wants to see it because what else do people do? Especially people my age. What do? You go out to eat. Maybe you go to a show, but you always go out to eat. So everyone is interested in food. Right? So it's like
you can see
it's kind of brilliant.
The blazer to hide it. How much I'm interested in food. And I wore all black to look thinning.
So you said you still do stand-up and shows, right?
Of course.
So. Are you doing anything locally? Is there any place that we could possibly see you?
Well, yeah, I do local weekly shows in the Bronx area. We're going to be filming episodes up here soon, but in the Bronx every Sunday, I do this show at Turtle Cove, which is a golf and baseball range. It's been there since I was a kid, and I feature every Sunday. It's called Silly Summer Sundays, and it's nice. We do it under a big party tent. We have all different comedians. You can see from the flyer right there. All comedians from all over the country, different networks. Every week it's a different show. It's free admission, free parking.
So and you're the one who put it together.
Yeah, I book all the comics and I host the show as well.
So
and
you
I host
book the
before.
shows.
Yeah, I book the shows. I host the show, and then it's a great place. Turtle Cove is an amazing place. They got great food there as well. We're going to be filming an episode there as well soon. Towards the end of the summer. They got miniature golf. They got driving range. They got.
It's a lot of fun.
Batting cage. Oh, it's fun. After the show's over, me and the other comics, we're hitting the balls and hanging out there.
That's
cool. Then Thursday nights, I got another free show I do at this place.
So that's a free show on Sunday.
Both of my shows.
Oh
Both
my
of my weekly
God.
shows are free. So please, everybody, you're more than welcome to come get your laughs.
So what happens on Thursday?
On
I think it's
Thursdays,
this.
yeah, that's this one. And that's I-9 Bistro.
Okay.
And it's amazing restaurant. A real small little beer and wine, nice little small bistro we do.
Who's that guy in the bottom left?
On the bottom left, Greg the Great Guitarist.
Greg Criticos was the star of Scriptless, my first television show. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's my buddy. Yeah, he was just there.
That's Greg. Greg and I go back.
It's a small world. Greg's an awesome dude.
Yeah.
And I do a free show there every Thursday. The food there's amazing. That show starts at 8 o'clock. And
That's
then
cool. I could tell it was Greg. That's why I asked the question.
Oh, yeah,
Gregorius
he's awesome.
Criticos. He was on this show.
Oh, yeah, he was on it. I'm sorry, I showed you guys the older flyer. He got mad that I still call him Greg the Greek. I'm like, well, half your flyers say Greg the Greek and half of them say Greg. I was like, he's like, no, change it. I'm going by my name now. Right. He's awesome. Yeah.
Are there anything else that you wanted to share?
Well, yeah, I do. We're going to be taping also our future episodes. We have one in Harlem. We're going to be doing.
Where is it?
At Fritz Restaurant.
Fritz.
It's on 119th and Park Avenue. Right. Amazing, I believe, Puerto Rican food and Spanish food.
I think we have a clip of that, right?
Yeah, we have a couple pictures. Yeah,
there it is. It's a little bit sideways, but I like it. It looks a little bit tilted, but I like that.
It's a little bit tilted. I think the guy needed a V8 who was taking a picture. I don't know what happened to him.
But I like it. It almost is like Fry It, but it's Fritz.
I still can't figure it. It's Fry It or it's...
But it almost looks like there's a fry thing in the middle.
Yeah, I thought it was a basketball hoop for a second.
Oh, yeah, it might be a basketball. But it looks cool, man. I like the blue.
The food there is amazing. The ambiance is nice.
It is.
You know, we're going to be doing an episode there. Then also up here in Tuckahoe, we're going to be doing one at the old Soul Mill.
It's okay. You're allowed to cheat a little bit. Look on the phone.
All right, I'm going to look on the phone.
Okay.
I'm like, well, you're going to catch me looking on the phone,
that's
dude?
okay.
You hand the picture up there. He could have left it there.
That's cool. I like this. I like this.
The old Stone Mill. The old Stone Mill on 2 Scarsdale Road, Tuckahoe,
And it's a
New
bar?
York. It's a restaurant. It's an Italian restaurant.
Do they have a bar?
Yeah, of course.
So you
they
can
got
get
the bar.
stoned at the old Stone Mill?
Oh, fun. We have a couple drinks too.
That's it.
In the show, we showcase in the restaurant. We showcase like the venue specialty drinks as well as their awesome food and stuff.
Cool. That's great.
You know, so it's fun. Comedy it's fun. I get to make a living at what you love doing.
That's it.
It's the meaning of life.
Now, the first time you went on stage, what was it like? Were you scared a little bit?
The first time? No, because thanks to marijuana. But, I'm weird. I never get nervous before I get on stage.
Wow.
I get nervous after.
Weird.
It's like I go on stage and all my energy just comes right out of me. But then once I get off stage, I'm shaking. I need a Newport. Everybody leave me alone for 5 minutes.
See, and I'm just I have stage fright.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, intense. Even when I was like a kid, but in front of a camera, I'm comfortable, which is weird. You know, it's I'm just the opposite of that, I guess.
Yeah, I've never it's never really affected me. You know what I mean?
Cool.
That was my minor in college. I went to school up here. I went to school at to Mercy College and Mount St. Mary in Newburgh. So Westchester Community College. I went to 3 colleges and then never graduated. I think I'm still a freshman when it comes to credits wise. But I still went to 3 colleges.
I graduated at 33 or 34 or whatever it was when.
In 1934, you graduated? Yeah. You look great. Dude. Wow, you look amazing, dude.
I dropped out and came back 18 years later or whatever.
You're better than me. I can never do that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But I was a baseball player, and then I messed up my arm and went down, like I said before, and somebody was selling tickets and became a comedian. I've been doing it ever since.
Wow. So do you do any acting?
Yes, I've been in a bunch of commercials. Again, that was my minor in college.
Great, man.
I've done they're fun. I did a clothing commercial, and it was for a baseball jerseys, and I was Carlos Baega's stunt double because in his contract he only could swing the bat.
Right.
But he wouldn't run around the bases. So then they give me his clothes.
I love it.
And they put it on, and then I'm just running around the bases with my hands going like this. Yeah. And I did Priceline.com commercials.
Oh, that's wonderful.
With Shatner. That was great. But it's funny the difference between comedians and actors.
Right.
Okay, and sometimes, like we find it comedic when we see certain people, oh, I got to get into character, but you're not doing much.
Right.
Like I was at that prize, we were just in the audience, and this one actress, she's in the back and hiding in the corner. Oh my God, do I go, or do I go, or do I go? I'm like, lady, you're clapping. I'm like, there's not much
one
character.
thing I know, as I produce shows, I direct shows, and I've been an actor for a while. The best actors, I think, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be upset about hearing this, but I think some of the best actors, I'll say it like that, are comedians. I think that comedians they make fantastic actors because they're not afraid to go there, to do it. To break down walls and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm pushing for now. Now I'm like they're pushing me forward towards acting, and that's what You know, I portrayed it within the show and with sketches and stuff like that, but then also, you know, getting a lot more into the acting scene and stuff like that. That's the next goal. That's why I'm making the jump to California and probably November.
Greg has a big picture coming out.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw it. I can't wait. I'm Charlie Boy, yes.
Shout out to Greg.
Yeah, shout out to Greg, man. Congrats. But, you know, I'm making the move out there. I'm going to California probably in like November or November or December. You know, probably to move or at least stay out there for a while.
Yeah, I was there for 8 years. It's an interesting town. I loved it. It was probably the most exciting time in my life. It was great.
Like, I'm just tired of wearing long johns. I can't deal with the cold no more in New York. I'm 43. I got no kids that I know about. Hopefully nobody's watching and says, oh, I just saw you on there.
And the air, I think, is cleaner now than it was 30 years ago now. I mean, when I was living in LA and Hollywood.
The smog, I heard there's a lot of smog.
I mean, if you went up to Griffith Park Observatory, you could actually see like a line that of the smog and the real air.
Really?
You could actually see that line right across the entire LA.
Really? Huh?
Yeah, so I think it's different now. I think with some of the stuff that Obama did or whatever.
And everybody has a Tesla out there. Everybody has a Tesla, you know, and you know why everybody's driving electrical cars? Because their gas prices out there
it's crazy.
is ridiculous. Over here, I'm crying about, because I'm driving a truck and I'm crying at $2.83.
Right.
It's like $4.50
know,
for regular
crazy.
gas.
And I lived in San Francisco for 6 months. I think it's like $7 or $8.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
That's why everybody's driving electric cars out there in the traffic. But I loved it out there. Like
I would
had
never,
such a blast.
You know, again, I mean, I came back from Hollywood and got married, have 2 kids, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But when I think about who I am,
Yeah.
I'm that guy in Hollywood looking for the next part. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the happiest when I'm acting. Are you the happiest when you're on stage?
Oh, by far, by far. That's my heaven. You know, what I mean, it's. I'm able to be myself and to get everything out, to get my frustrations out and stuff like that. And just being out there in California, what I learned, the difference, everybody says, you're actor, comedian, you have to do your time. You know, just like, you know, some gang members, they have to do their bid in jail. As a comedian, we got to do our bid in LA. You know
you
what
have
I
to go
mean?
to Comedy Store, all the different shows.
Yeah, you know, the money out there, so you're not going out there for the money, you're going out there to be seen and to be heard and to perform with all these stars, and you never know who's going to be on stage.
Yeah, and you never know who's going to be in the audience.
Yeah, you never know.
I mean,
who's
that's the
gonna be
thing, because you'll be in the audience and there's someone from NBC, watching, looking for the next whatever.
First time I performed out there at the Comedy Store on Sunset, I'm over there on the same exact show, because the show is concurrent, it just goes throughout the whole night. Right. On the same stage, on the same show, Andrew Dice Clay,
wow,
Bob Saget,
wow,
Eddie Griffin,
wow,
Joe Torre,
wow,
whatchamacallit, a bunch of the other guys, Jeff Ross, you know, all these guys. When I was just out there, Jeff Ross
Ross,
on the same
I'd love to see him.
On the same show, Neil Brennan, creator of the Chappelle Show, all these guys on the same show that I am, and I'm just hanging out with them and talking, and it's because it's a camaraderie that you have with other comedians.
Well, I never did comedy, but I used to hang out at the Improv in Hollywood, because every Sunday and Monday night, they used to have dance night there, and they'd have R&B music, and every star in the world would come in.
Wow.
And one night I had gotten a little lucky playing cards, and I won like $600 or $700, and I tipped out $500 to the bartender, this beautiful bartender that was bartending at the Improv. I never had to stand on line again. I never had to buy a drink again after that one night. And
$500 tip, I'll give you free drinks too.
But I had all these, but I was drunk. Believe me, when I came home and I didn't have any money in my pocket, I thought, what the hell just happened?
I was wondering if that was a mistake or not.
No, but it was like, it turned out to be the best investment. And you know, you have stars waiting online, you have actors waiting online that you'd see on, and I just walk in, you know, and
that's awesome.
It was pretty cool. I love the Improv.
Yeah.
But I loved it for dance night on Sunday and Monday night.
They just actually redid the Improv over there.
Oh,
and
really?
the food there and the chef, like I'm hoping to film an episode actually there when I move out there, hopefully. But the venue is completely changed and it's gorgeous. You know, when you walk
I used to be on the softball team too. We used to play every Sunday. Yeah, during the baseball
there, I was on the Gotham softball team over here.
It's awesome. I tore my quadricep running onto first base, but it was still cool. I mean, forget it. We had guys from First and 10, which was the O.J. Simpson show.
Yeah.
There was a comedian who won Star Search the second year. I forgot what his name was, but he played the kicker from like some from Russia or something like this.
Oh, wow.
And it was so cool. I mean, the people that I met back then.
And that's the whole experience. That's why I want to go out there, you know, for a while, get the LA experience. You know, I got my little dog. He wants to go run on the beach with all the other. We keep seeing all these TV shows on Animal Planet with all these other dogs running on beaches.
And we
in
do
LA.
have beautiful women in New York, but there's something about the women in Hollywood that they're all between the ages, or at least when I was 26, they're all between the ages of like 18 and 23 years old, and they're all trying to be actresses.
Oh, everybody's a star. Everybody's a star.
But we still have our beautiful women in New York. Too,
well,
so.
my woman's over here, and she don't want me to go.
yeah, that's it. If you go to Hollywood, that's
but that's the whole thing. As a man now, it's not like you. There's no such thing as cheating. You can't do that anymore because whoever the technical guy over there in Silicon Valley that invented the FaceTime.
Forget it.
Thank you for ruining.
See, that's it. See, I was there in the '80s. So the '80s, there was no internet, there was no this, there was no that. It was just like have fun. But the one thing about the '80s was that they had AIDS, which was the bad part of the '80s. But in terms of it's such a different world we live in.
Yeah, now you're like, where are you? I'm at the store. Prove it to me. Go on and FaceTime. I'm like, okay, see,
location,
I'm at the store.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like, you can't. You have to be a good boy.
So I'm happy I grew up in an earlier time.
Oh yeah, me too. You know what I mean? It's like I'm glad I sowed my roots when I was younger. Now I'm a lot more focused. You know what I mean? And I'm more driven and doing it for all this time and figuring out what you want to do with your career. That's the best.
And the good part is that you're surrounding yourselves with colleagues like Greg and other people that you're actually booking them, and the community supports each other.
Yeah,
I mean, you're all buds.
All of us, because a lot of us comedians also produce our own shows. We love having the producer hat on because a lot of times we're at these comedy clubs, and you have to be there. A lot of them are very strict. Like they say that I'm going on stage at 8:42.
Right.
If I show up at 8:43, somebody already has my spot.
Right.
But when you're the person controlling it, and then you're hosting it, and you're not getting rushed and everything like that, it's a
different vibe, man.
It's a different vibe, and all the comedians, we look out for each other. Like I'll book Greg on his show, he books me on his show. I
love
book
it.
Another comedian, we will book each other back and forth. We book each other back and forth, and all comedians look at each other as family. You know what I mean? Like we're tight knit.
But there's a pecking order too. I mean, if you're only going to book the best, right? That
Well, when I book my shows, like and my local shows, I give any comic stage
that's
time.
wonderful.
I have like new comedians. I welcome any new comedian that wants to go on stage for stage time. Please,
that's
come.
Fantastic.
If you could bring some people to the show, it's a free admission show. Bring some friends. I always give stage time. But the last two comedians of every show that I have are great. Booked acts. You know what I mean?
Cool.
And the way that I book it, you got to be just as good as me or better. If you're not good as me or better, you're
and
not
those are the
worth
last two, so you got to stay for the whole show.
So
there it is.
I love giving, because I knew how hard it was when I first started out to get on stage. You know what I mean? When I started out 23 years ago, there wasn't that many options for comedians. You only had a couple shows here and there per night. Now there's a lot of us that are out there. We created our own shows.
Awesome.
So there's stages every night in New York that any comic can that has the oomph and the balls to get on stage, come by and we'll do it.
That's
if you do great, I'm gonna praise you. If you do poorly, you know what I mean, I might get on you a little bit.
I'll tell you, man, I'm so happy that you came on the show tonight.
I had a blast.
You are awesome.
Thank you so much, man.
But there's just one thing left to say.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a wrap.
That's
Good night, folks.
That's all right.